And continuing our chat with the Chief Minister about the air services in the Isle of Man, you said there are other players potentially there. You're not going to tell me them, are you, though?
No. Discussions, though, have taken place. Clearly, we've got to have contingency plans if the worst scenario does materialise with FlyBe. But there are other airlines looking at picking up those existing routes and indeed talking about opening up other routes too. So we have a number of options to deal with.
And you mentioned at the Excellence Awards that Scotland is definitely coming back. Was that a definite or maybe definite?
Both Scotland and London City are in an advanced stage of discussions. It's fair to say at the moment. Scotland in particular, we've lost until now all links to Scotland. The only route up there tends to be through Manchester. It's costly and laborious. We've been working with the Scottish Government, though, and I raised this matter with Alex Salmon when he was over earlier this year. Alex is very keen to work and help us to restore those links. Those discussions, both with a particular airline and indeed with the Scottish Government, are continuing, and I think we're very close now to reaching an agreement which will see the restoration of flights, certainly to Glasgow, early on next year.
Are we talking about a certain 19-seater aircraft sort of operation?
I'm not talking about anything at the moment. I'm just saying that we are in advanced discussions in cooperation with the Scottish Government to restore a link.
And City and the BA factor in this. I mean, it's actually interesting that BA increased their flights to Jersey. They're putting back an evening one which they took off and they're announcing that's going back into the system. Yet here we've got this one a day as it's standing. But you think there's more?
We have been in discussion with BA and with City Airport to make sure that this link is restored. It's vitally important that we have an early morning flight to London for our business community in particular, and of course the late flight back in the evening. It's absolutely fundamental that we do that. That is what we're focusing on there, and obviously other flights during the day if it's at all possible. Those discussions are continuing, and so far they seem to be bearing fruit. And I'm hopeful we will be able to make an announcement both on Scotland and on London City fairly early on in the new year, which hopefully will restore some confidence.
Because the knock on even cargo that was coming in with FlyBe, for instance, that's something that most of us don't take for granted, that parcels will turn up. Even that could be affected if these services...
Yes, but we've got to stop this media frenzy of panicking just because there are some changes in the system. They are causing problems, there's no doubt about that. There's no complacency in government, but a lot of work is going on behind the scenes at the moment, talking to various airlines on a range of options that we might have. We're involved also with the private sector separately to see if we can find some further way of financing these routes for the future. There's a lot of work going on, and these problems will be resolved fairly early on next year.
What do you think to the Guernsey model, having their own airline? I mean, it wasn't in favour because, in fact, EasyJet looked at going in, didn't like it because they couldn't get what they wanted because it's a closed system there. Yeah. So initially, everyone down there was very upset, and of course, since then things have moved on again. But now maybe it looks like it's a better deal because they guarantee their slots.
Well, they are at the moment, yes, and but it is costing the Guernsey taxpayer a lot of money. Aurigny lost £3.5 million last year. They're just about to buy a £25 million jet to go on the routes as well. That's fine, but the taxpayers are paying for this. This isn't being bought out of private business. And the money which is diverted into subsidising the airlines, of course, is money which is taken away from public services in Guernsey. So we have to be very careful about getting the right balance. If government, to my mind, has no role in running airlines, we need to get the private sector enthusiasm and energies to run these services. If, though, we can create the right conditions for the private sector to flourish, then we most definitely should do that. But the whole issue of open skies is something which will be discussed over the next few weeks and months, and there may possibly be an alternative identified in the future. We'll just have to see about that. But at the moment, the Isle of Man government is not planning to run an airline.